Welcome to the Tour Confidential bonus. Today we're talking about Tiger Woods, who committed to the Players Championship via his Twitter account last week. Twitter breaks a lot of news stories. Alan Shipnuck, with Tiger returning to Sawgrass, what are you expecting for him there? The last time he played there, he won. What are you looking for this time around?
Just progress. I think where Tiger finishes is somewhat irrelevant. I thought his performance at the Masters was tremendous. I think it was one of the greatest performances of his entire career. To go there with the chip yips and the hardest course in the world for your short game to be exposed, I thought the way he moved the ball around the course was a huge step forward. His long game was obviously pretty rusty. Didn't hit any fairways on the front nine on Sunday, and he kind of went backwards a little bit in the final round. But even so, overall, that was a big momentum builder, and he needs to keep that going. Sawgrass, even though he won there, it's not a course he loves, but you don't need many drivers there, and that obviously favors Tiger. If he can maneuver his way around the course with some 2 irons and 3 woods, I think he could put himself in contention there. I think if Tiger's going to be any kind of factor this summer when the tournaments really matter, he needs a good performance at Sawgrass.
I agree that his Masters performance really was incredible. The way that he went from chip yipping the ball around the course to sort of fixing himself in time for Augusta. But I'm not ready to just write off the chip yips.
The chip yips is kind of like the shingles virus. It lives inside of you forever. It's a lifetime thing. When it's going to flower, nobody knows. But
there's a vaccine for shingles, though, right? I don't know that you have a vaccine for chip yips. I don't know that it's cured or if it's just maybe stunned into, if it's just temporarily in hiding right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's probably something to that. I think it could rear up and show its ugly face again later in the season. But, and I also think because of those struggles, it sort of obscured the fact that he was struggling so much with other parts of his game. And it was obviously discussed, but I think we were so hyper-focused on his chipping and short game, we forgot that he cannot hit fairways. He's spraying the ball. He always sprays the ball, but a lot more than usual. Alan spoke to the last round of the Masters. He only hit 2 fairways that entire day. So that is a huge concern. And what can we expect from Sawgrass? I don't know. I mean, let's not forget he shot 42 on the front 9 there, I think back in 2011. Right. So he's got some demons at that course. He's withdrawn a couple of times, and obviously a couple of wins there too. So it'll be a fascinating week either way.
Yeah. Shipnuck, what's a successful week for Tiger at Sawgrass?
Well, I would say using the same ball for each round, just avoiding the big miss. That there's so many booby traps on that course, and missing fairways at Augusta is a little deceptive because guys just swing away sort of with impunity there. But Sawgrass is a totally different kind of design, and it's really about finesse and positioning. And if Tiger can't get from point A to point B, even with shorter clubs in his hand, he's really in trouble. Because I'm not saying Sawgrass is the old course, but it's analogous in that the old course plays really short, and Tiger famously missed every bunker when he won there in 2000. And I think that's the one major where Tiger could really be a factor this summer is the Open Championship, where he's won there a couple times. He has such great mojo, and it's the right course at the right time for him. So I want to see if he can play that brand of golf.
I think he's incapable of keeping driver in the bag when he probably should.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit like Mickelson. He's obsessed with distance. I think he feels pressure to keep up with the young guns. He's obviously lost some yards over the years. He's picked up some this year, actually. He's longer than he was last year. But if he was smarter, as Alan said, if he was smarter and hit 3 iron and fairway woods, God forbid he carried a hybrid, and just placed it a little bit more, I think he would be so much more successful. But I just don't think it's in him.
Yeah. You think he's going to be
there's an ego thing there for sure. I mean, this is Tiger freaking Woods. I mean, the guy who destroyed Augusta National, was the longest hitter in the world for a few years there, and he's very attuned to any kind of admission of weakness, and any sense of vulnerability. So he'd rather swing the driver, miss a fairway, than keep it in the bag. There's just that mentality that, I'm the greatest player of all time. I should be able to hit driver when I want to, even if I'm 40 yards off. So I agree that there's a whole deep psychological issue there that's utterly fascinating. We don't have time for it this roundtable, but Tiger. Yeah, there's so many things in Tiger's head right now, and that's part of his problem is he's got issues on all 14 clubs. Really, he doesn't have a go-to shot or a go-to scoring club right now, and that's a hard way to play golf at that level.
Other than that, he looks great.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to tie for 28th, by the way.
I think he's trunk slamming.
All right.
He's gonna miss a cut.